What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Skull and Mortar. I am John Barker. I'm an award-winning pitmaster, and when I first started out on this barbecue journey, I had a lot of questions about the money muscle, and there were not a lot of great videos out there, so I'm going to do that for you today. We're going to get to the basics of barbecue, and we are going to talk about the money muscle. To do the money muscle, we're going to have to start with a couple of basic tools. Tool number one, grab yourself an injector. This is like a cheap injector from Kroger. It may be like 10 bucks, I don't know. But you're not gonna need something super heavy duty for this because we're going for a pretty small piece of meat here. You're also gonna need a good boning knife. You can use other knives. I prefer the boning knife, but it's gonna need to be something that's very sharp, something that's easy for you to maneuver, something that you feel confident handling. It's a good looking pork butt. It's got great marbling throughout. You can see each one of the muscles here. This is great meat right here. You're always gonna get very tender meat. Everything here around the bone is great. And this right here is what we call the money muscle. As you can see, it runs this way across the pork butt, and it's got fat veins in it that go like that, and also across. This one here, and most of them are gonna have a fat vein here. It's gonna have some fat coverage as well, but this is the muscle right here that's gonna get you what is thought to be the most delicious, tender cut of the pork butt. So now there's a bone that runs through this, and we're gonna need to get rid of that bone. This is like the shoulder shank bone, I believe is what it's called. There's a piece of it here, piece here, and on that one, that's it. But you can see it runs here, it runs here. It takes up a big portion of this pork butt. But I'm gonna go ahead and make an insert cut across here. I'm just gonna take little small, slow cuts, guys. We don't have to be a friggin' superhero here. But just like Nate Dogg and Warren G, I'm all up in this cut, just taking my time, trying not to have to regulate. And again, there we go, we got that out. Now, I know you guys are gonna say, there's a ton of meat on here. I get it, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to use this meat for sausage. It's okay, guys. I'm also gonna use the bone, use all of it. Don't be wasteful. Now we're just gonna kind of butterfly this up the middle. We wanna leave it about right there. We'll come back and revisit it here in a minute. But this right here is kind of the layout we're looking for. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of a lot of this fat here. It's just covering up the money muscle. So now you can see we've really started to expose the side of this muscle. Look at that, that's great. We've really exposed that side. And we want to expose as much of it as possible. So, and see, that fat vein is too thick. None of that's gonna render out, so we need to get rid of that.
Now guys, it's super important that you cut away from yourself. Don't do what I'm doing here, but that wouldn't be much of a Skull and Mortar video if I didn't risk a phalange in order to show you how this is done. Now I know you guys probably want to watch me trim this forever, but I feel like we've had enough of that. I'm going to skip forward to the next part of this process. And here we go, guys. We have that money muscle properly trimmed. We're going to knock that fat down. And guys, I know what you're thinking right now. Stop doing it, have some class, alright? We're just trying to make a money muscle right. Anyway, get that good and cleared out, get it exposed, smack it around a little bit, get sexy with it. Now we got a lot of extra excess flat meat over here. We're not actually going to need to cook that for this recipe, so we're just going to cut it down. We want this to be about the size of a piece of paper in total.
So the next thing we're gonna do now is we wanna push as much flavor as possible into here. So you probably already saw this. I got about a cup of apple juice. I don't know whose recipe it was originally. I probably found this on the internet. I know it's pretty common, but it's a classic, but it's a goodie. So we're gonna pop about a solid tablespoon of soy sauce in there. We're gonna hop over here to this Worcestershire. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. If it's not right, just make fun of me, who cares? Leave those comments down below. Either way, positive or negative. But we're gonna put another tablespoon or so of that in there. Now, typically people tell you to load up with salt and brown sugar here. I'm gonna toss a little bit of my rub inside of here. Then we're gonna pop about a tablespoon of that in there as well. Probably best to take a spoon. This probably doesn't really make a whole lot of sense logistically, but I feel like I already committed to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and see it out. Mix that in. Just kind of get that in there. And then take your injector, get that bad boy locked and loaded, and we're just gonna get in here. Oh, there you go. There you go. Somebody's excited. Tone that down, you freaking lunatic. But that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna try and inject as much of this. You can see it literally, like watch it swell up right here. See that? That's all flavor, that's all juice. And it'll tell you when it's full because it'll start to squirt out. So I'm gonna wanna put as much of this in here as possible. So I'm just gonna move around slowly but surely. Oh, see that one's definitely full. And just really get this as full as possible. And again, I know the Terrys of the world out there are gonna be like, oh, you injected, you know. Now, a lot of you guys I know are like super stuck on using binders and things like that. You don't need a binder because we got plenty of juice coming out of here. And the next step, of course, is gonna be to go ahead and get some of that good rub on there. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, you can get some Skull and Mortar rub. I'm gonna flip it over so I can hit this side as well. And I'm just going to give it a good dust. I'm not going to go out of control because I'm not really caring about this meat as much. So this is what it looks like. You can already tell that it's congealing right here with that moisture right down in here on the side that I'm not really too concerned with.
Guys, we got our smoker at 250 degrees. We're gonna throw this on until it hits an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And unlike my dad, who still hasn't returned from getting cigarettes, I'll be back when we hit that internal temperature.
All right, guys, we just got our money muscle out. It's at 165 degrees right here. You see we have some fat congealing right here, but it's held its shape nice.
Guys, here is where we do the Texas crutch. We're gonna use foil here. Don't use the butcher paper. You wanna really trap the moisture in here. And we're gonna do a second layer of foil as well because we wanna make sure that this is as tightly wrapped and compacted as possible. We wanna keep all that liquid and moisture in there. Once we've done that, we're gonna go ahead and throw it back on the smoker until we hit an internal temperature of 195 degrees. You're not gonna let it go as far as you would if it was pulled pork. We wanna be able to slice this and it hold together.
All right, so we have this up to 195 degrees, which is exactly where we wanted it. So essentially, we're done cooking this bad boy. Should be plenty tender, should be plenty delicious. All right, look at that. Get in here carefully because we don't want that money muscle to fall apart. We put in too much effort at this point. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of round it out at the bottom and get it right on out of there. We're not quite done with it yet. Try to save all your juices together there. Okay, we're gonna clean it up just a little bit more. We're gonna get rid of some of that little excess fat down there. And that pork right there is ready to eat. I mean, you could eat this as is. Now we're gonna hit it with a little of the Carolina Red barbecue sauce. Sooner or later, this will be available on the website as well. Get a good drizzle on it. And then just kind of brush that down to make sure that you get the entire... We got a good coverage. It's gonna go back onto the smoker. It's gonna take about 30 minutes and it should be ready to go. Guys, it is done. This is it. This is your money muscle. Look at that nice bark that's formed on top of there.
Oh yeah, guys, you see this right. I put 4.5 hours into a cook to use the wrong knife and mess up my bark, and I don't regret it at all.
That's it. You can see the juice coming out. Look at that.
Now we're gonna drizzle this with just a little bit of that original Beach Bum Barbecue Skull and Mortar sauce.
Guys, it's been like 4 hours. I am ready to get a piece of this. I'm gonna grab this one right out of the middle. Got a little sauce on there, got a little bark. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all that fat's rendered out of there. Guys, I'm barely touching it and it's already coming apart. Like, I'm not even really pulling at all, guys. If I want it, boom, see? Comes across easy. Yeah. Yeah, that's why they call it the money muscle. That's money. The judge takes one bite of that, your friends, your family, you're automatically king, dude. As soon as you eat a piece of that. All right, guys, that's it for us this week. I hope you enjoyed this look at the money muscle. I hope you learned something. If you did, click like, hit subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see more of. And remember, this is the absolute last week that you can get your entry in for the Skull and Mortar gift bag. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna have our OG sauce, which is available for pre-order in the description below. It's gonna have a honey sauce, a sriracha sauce, neither of which can be ordered right now. It's gonna have a jalapeno peach hot sauce, a pineapple habanero hot sauce. It's gonna have a gigantic bag of rub. I'm talking like a $50 at least bag of rub is gonna be slammed in that bad boy. And guys, you don't even have to pay for shipping. It's gonna cost me probably $7,000, $8,000 at least to send it to you. Probably not that much, maybe a lot less. I'm probably gonna try and put it in a flat rate shipping box, but you get my point. It's completely free to you, no cost whatsoever. All you gotta do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on any video. You can get up to 40 something entries now. One comment per video, one entry per video. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. We're gonna show you some brand new stuff that we haven't done on the channel before. Guys, get your money muscle on. It's absolutely delicious. Come on now. Who are you playing games with? Not me. I'm eating this.